Well, welcome everybody to a meeting of the Ontario City Council. Oh my gosh, I don't believe that. I got to turn that off. Crazy is that. Welcome to a meeting of the Ontario City Council in accordance with the Governor's declarations of emergency and stay-at-home order. This meeting is being conducted by teleconference to limit in-person attendance. This meeting is being live broadcast on local cable channel 3, as well as internet live streamed on our city website. We appreciate your understanding during this unprecedented time of social distancing under the stay-at-home orders. All documents for public review are on file with the Records Management City Clerk's Department. Anyone wishing to provide public comment or to address the council has been provided alternative means to do so, including US mail, email, a website comment form, as well as the ability to call in live during appropriate times of the meeting. All public comments received by the established deadline of this meeting will be included as part of the official meeting record. In accordance with state law, remarks during public comment are to be limited to subjects within council's jurisdiction. Remarks on other agenda items will be limited to those items. And so we do have our first order of business, Madam Clerk, is a roll call. Vicki?
Thank you, Mayor Leon. As I call your names, could each of you respond with here or present? Mayor Leon?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Doris Parada?
Here.
Councilmember Wapner?
Here.
Councilmember Bowman?
Here.
Councilmember Valencia?
Here.
All council members are present at this meeting and participating via Zoom.
All right, then thank you. And now for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Pro Tem Parada.
Would you please join me in singing the pledge to the best flag in the world? Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And in lieu of our invocation and in recognition of the challenges that we are facing within our community and the nation, I ask that we take a brief moment of silence and reflection. Would you join me, please? Thank you very much. So at this time, I'll call our special counsel, Scott Tiedemann, in, to provide a report on the closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. In the closed session that was just conducted pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Appointment, City Attorney, the City Council took a roll call vote and voted unanimously, 5-0, to appoint the law firm of Best and Krieger as city attorneys for the City of Ontario.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to our public comments portion of our meeting. And Madam City Clerk, public comments? Sheila?
Yes, Mayor. We have no written comments mailed to the city. We have 2 emailed comments, one from Melissa Barbosa regarding code enforcement issues at 1116 West D Street, the other for Dana Hayward regarding construction-related traffic issues at Ontario Ranch. You've been provided copies of both of those. We also have one person on hold right now that would like to give you a public comment, and I'm going to defer you over to Karen for that one.
Karen?
Yes, Mayor, we have Miss Selena Lopez.
Okay. Let's hear from Selena Lopez.
You may begin speaking, Miss Lopez.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. There were some technical problems here.
I think there might be a delay if you're trying to watch on TV and talk at the same time. It might be tough. just talk and stay away from what you're hearing.
Okay. Let me see if this works now. Okay, sorry about that. Is this better?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm calling. Is there still feedback? I'm so sorry. Okay. So I'm calling because I wanted to use these 3 minutes to basically announce publicly to the community that I will be running for city council. I think many of you guys are aware of it. You guys probably have seen it on ONZ. I haven't made it official, but I will be making it official this week that I will be running for city council for the upcoming seat of either Ruben Valencia or Miss Deborah Doors Parada. One of the things that I feel offended as a Latina running is Miss Deborah changing her name to Deborah Parada for election purposes to win the Latino vote. And Ms. Parada, as a Latina, that just feels very offensive. I think that if you have sat in your seat for as long as you have, there is no need for you to change your name. The community will love you regardless of your name, color, ethnicity, background, whatever it may be. And so why you change your name this election to Deborah Parada versus Deborah Doors Parada is beyond me. And I just find it like very offensive that you are trying to buy the Latino votes doing that in this upcoming election. And because it's also very offensive, I should say, to your own ethnicity, your own background, you know, so that's also a slap in the face for your own ethnicity that you're doing that, because you know that Doors is your last name, not Parada. And Mr. Wapner, I mean, also,
1 minute remaining.
I pulled records, you know, and him giving $20,000 for a politics consultant to your campaign. I'm beyond, I mean, it probably is legal, but that is, as a community member, that is appalling to me. That is just something that, of course, the community should be aware of. You know, why that money is going to your campaign, $20,000. I'm going to go grassroots. I have zero money right now, zero. You know, I don't even have $5,600 to be able to register a vote. But you know what? I will be reaching out to the community, and for me, every dollar, even community members said, I'll give you $5, you know, and for me, ethical is primarily more respectable and for me to walk that line than anything else. So I voted for you in previous years, Ms. Deborah Parada. So I just don't know why this changed all of a sudden. And like I
3
said,
minutes has expired.
if you had remained yourself,
You need to wrap it up.
Doors
Your 3
Parada.
minutes has expired, and we thank you for your comments.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, you know,
Yes, yes,
would it be
Mr.
okay
Ochoa.
We will continue this.
just because we're in a little bit of you know, uncertain area as we're hopefully going to take up a matter that will bring on our new city attorney, and I think he would tell you the same thing that I would like to tell you, and the community for that matter. The Ralph M. Brown Act that we have here in the state of California, which is the sunshine laws, the open meeting laws, certainly allow folks to address the council on matters before the council that are germane to the council for those 3 minutes that are given for those items that are not on the agenda. And with that precious 3 minutes or that precious amount of time, folks can exercise their freedom of speech. What we would not allow, what is not protected under the Ralph M. Brown Act, is the ability to use those 3 minutes for a political stump speech. So the idea of criticizing council members by all means, you can criticize council members, you can criticize the staff, myself, city attorney, any one of our folks that work for the city. But to declare candidacy, to basically politic from the what amounts to the virtual podium, that is not something that is covered by the Brown Act. Because this is something that is a little bit, as I say, we're in flux. I didn't interject when Ms. Lopez started her comment and leaned in right away with the political dynamic. But just for fair warning, as it goes forward, either myself or our city attorney will endeavor, pursuant to the council's direction, to make sure that the podium is utilized for the matters that are before the council and as contemplated by the Brown Act, and not as just political speech stumping.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. City Manager, and we'll go forward from here. The rest of the other comments have been written into the record. And so that takes us to the agenda review and announcements. Mr. City Manager, do you have any updated materials or correspondence?
Yes, sir. We would ask for a couple of things. One, we would ask that we remove item number 11 from the calendar, and we will replace it on your August 18th agenda, having to do with an update of our moratorium as it pertains to storage facilities and the overall general discussion of anti-eviction activities covered through the emergency orders pursuant to the pandemic. So we'd ask that we remove that from calendar tonight. And then secondly, I would ask that we move item number 12, which would be the selection of a city attorney firm, as I just referenced a moment ago, to bring that forward to the front of the meeting so that one, we could outline the process, the exhaustive process by which the city council went through to select a city attorney firm, which entailed an RFP, which solicited 9 quality proposals from 9 high quality firms interviewed by the city council in person, and ultimately resulted in the recommendation, selection, and vote, as you heard Mr. Tiedemann, our special counsel, comment just a moment ago, of BB&K, with the selected attorney from BB&K being Mr. Ruben Duran. We would make this recommendation to you with the understanding that you appoint BB&K, giving me as your city manager direction to negotiate and execute an agreement with the firm on a going forward basis. And until such time as we do execute that agreement, that we rely on the special counsel agreement with BB&K that is in place today. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions for the council about this matter. And as I see on my screen here, Mr. Ruben Duran is part of the discussion here on this Zoom call. So if that pleases the council, I'll stop talking here and allow the council to ask questions, make comments, and entertain any action that you see fit.
Okay, so actually we're going to go ahead and pick up item number 12 first, a legal services agreement for city attorney services. As you mentioned, Mr. Duran from Best and Krieger is here and with us to make his comments at this time on item number 12. So
thank you and good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. It's such an honor and privilege and pleasure to be here with you this evening virtually. It's certainly an interesting time that we find ourselves in, but the business of the city must go on. And I have to tell you that it is the highest honor of my day, my month, and my year to be here with you as your new city attorney. Thank you very much for your vote of confidence in closed session. My law firm is a member of the community, has been in Ontario for more than 25 years. I'm a member of this community. My wife and I live here in Ontario. Our adult sons visit as often as they can because they love it at our house. I have a 25-year-old who graduated from the University of Oregon. He's a Duck. I have a 21-year-old who's a senior at Columbia University, and they are Ontarians as well. We are all just pleased and couldn't be happier to be here in Ontario, and I'm excited to take on this new role as your city attorney. Thank you again. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Duran? And thank you for that statement, Mr. Duran.
Of course.
In that case, since there's no discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Bowman,
Second.
second by Mr. Valencia. So we'll take a roll call vote. Madam City Clerk?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dorsey Parada,
Her mic's off. Debbie, turn your mic on.
Yes.
There we go.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
So I'd like to welcome you, Mr. Duran, and I don't know if you need additional time to address the council as our city attorney.
No, Mr. Mayor, I'm ready to get to work. And with that, please let me know if you have any questions as we move through the agenda.
Okay, well, that's terrific. Welcome to the team. Welcome back to the team. So it moves us on to consent calendar, and all matters listed under consent calendar will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on these items unless a member of the council requests an item to be removed from the consent calendar for a separate vote. We've already heard that any public comments may have been submitted. So I'll open it up to the city council for discussion or motion.
So move.
Moved by Councilmember Bowman, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Parada. We'll have a roll call vote. Madam City Clerk?
Thank you. Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dorsey Parada,
Yes.
Councilmember Wapner,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Councilmember Valencia.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. Then with that, and having continued item number 11 at the request of the city manager, anybody have any opposition to doing that? No? Oh, well, if you do, speak up. Okay. All right, so we'll move on to staff matters. And that's Mr. Ochoa.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Okay, then council matters. Mayor Pro Tem.
I would like to compliment some of our community people like the Kiwanis who have been continuing to meet via Zoom and keeping all of their members engaged and making sure that everybody stays healthy. Also, too, with the Ontario Heritage, they're doing some of the same things. So I'm glad that many of our community groups are keeping each other going, keeping the community going, and I thank them so very much. I'm glad to see the progress on downtown with both the new restaurant there on B and Euclid, and also too with Starbucks there on E and Euclid. I'm glad to see the progress down in Ontario Ranch with the new Stater Brothers Shopping Center. Just so many good things still going on despite all of this shelters in place and wear your mask. So thank you for everybody for doing the right things, and we'll just keep moving along.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Wapner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to mention that this is the first time that we've met on the first Tuesday in August in probably about 30 years. Traditionally, we hold Ontario Night Out on this particular date. Obviously, because of the pandemic, we weren't able to do that. Unknown whether we'll be rescheduling or not, but I think that we all miss Ontario Night Out. I know it's one of the best nights of the year for all 5 of us. And police department always does a great job. So I guess they have a little extra time on their hands. Not really. They're doing a great job. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Bowman.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Mr. Valencia.
Yes, I'd like to send my condolences, my family and everybody I know in our neighborhood, to any of our residents that have family in Lebanon for the tragedy that occurred today. So just want to send my condolences.
Yeah, that's pretty big explosion. Very, very big explosion. This weekend, I was able to go and celebrate a birthday with a young man named Stephen, who is battling cancer. Sometimes people ask me, what is my favorite thing to do as the mayor. And I think it's doing things like that where I get to go and visit people in the community for various reasons, to celebrate their life or things that are going on, and the birthdays of people who are sentient, over 100 years old, centurions, or also somebody like Stephen, who is 13 years old and tough as nails. And I'm just impressed by his strength. The little guy is a warrior. He's standing out there. He's just a big smile. And then all of the community people who came for the parade, and our police, and were involved. And always, I love it when our city services get involved and show up and support too. And Mr. Ochoa, I thank you that as the city manager, you allow that. I think it's part of being supportive of our community. And I really like the idea of our hometown feel with a big city in it too, or we're a big city with a hometown feel. That's how I always say it. So that was a very special moment. And if Stephen or his family is watching or anything, I just want to say what a great guy he is, and how strong he is, and how he inspires me and so many others to be a part of his life and to witness that. So with all of that being said,
Mr. Mayor, sorry.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Alan.
Can I suggest that we adjourn this meeting in memory of the servicemen that gave their lives for our country, off the coast of Oceanside?
Right. The with the that BMP that was sunk. Yeah. Anybody have any issue with that?
No.
Okay, so per recommendation of Councilmember Wapner, we're going to go ahead and adjourn in honor of those military personnel that perished this last weekend. We appreciate your interest, and we thank you for participating in our meeting by television, live stream, on the web, or by calling in. Our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, August 18th. This meeting is now adjourned.